You spawn into a world that doesn't care you exist. No purpose, no story, no guiding hand telling you what to do next. The sun rises, the trees sway, the clouds drift, all indifferent to the fact that you're even here, and yet somehow, that's what makes it beautiful. Minecraft begins with emptiness, a bare landscape, unshaped and unfeeling, stretching endlessly in every direction. There's no mission to follow, no destiny waiting to be fulfilled. You are simply there, dropped into a vast and silent universe. The game doesn't tell you what to do or why you're doing it. You chop down a tree, you craft some tools, build a shelter, and then what? The world offers no answers. It just keeps going, with or without you. Albert Camus once wrote that the absurd is born of this confrontation between the human need and the unreasonable silence of the world. That silence, the absence of reason, the lack of inherent meaning, is what defines both the myth of Sisyphus and the experience of existing in Minecraft. In both, we encounter a world that refuses to explain itself, but the universe, whether it's blocky or real, remains silent. And yet, in that silence, something remarkable happens. Freedom emerges. Without purpose imposed from above, we are free to create our own. In Camus' words, the absurd man is he who is aware of his divorce between himself and his world. And it's in that awareness, in that quiet recognition that the world doesn't care, that we begin to act meaningfully on our own terms. Minecraft, then, is a simulation of the absurd condition. It's a blank canvas where existence has no pre-written meaning, but we can build, explore, and create one anyways. Chapter 1. Building in the face of meaninglessness. To play Minecraft is to experience the tension between absurdity and creation. The world is vast but empty. The possibilities are infinite but directionless. And yet, we play. We gather resources, design structures, build farms, and decorate homes no one else may ever see. But why? What drives us to create in a universe that offers nothing in return? Camus offers an answer in the myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus is condemned by the gods to roll a boulder up a hill for eternity, only to watch it roll back down each time he reaches the top. It's the ultimate symbol of futility, the eternal return of a meaningless task. But Camus doesn't see Sisyphus as tragic. He sees him as free, because once Sisyphus accepts that there's no escape from his condition, his punishment loses its power. The struggle itself towards the heights, Camus writes, is enough to fill a man's heart. In accepting absurdity, Sisyphus transcends it. Minecraft operates on the same principle. Every world begins the same way. Bare expanse, a single player, an infinite loop of effort and renewal. You build, you lose, you rebuild, you die, you respawn, you start again. The game never ends because, like Sisyphus, you can never win. You can only continue the climb. But that's where the meaning lies. Each block placed is a small rebellion against the void. Every house, every moment, every torch in the darkness is a declaration. I exist and I choose to build anyways. Just as Sisyphus embraces his endless labor, players embrace the repetition. Mining, crafting, exploring. Tasks that might seem meaningless become rituals of self-expression. They transform the indifferent world into something personal, something alive. And maybe, like Sisyphus, we must imagine ourselves happy. Not because we found meaning, but because we've chosen to create it. Chapter 2. 2B2T. The world that devours itself. Nowhere is this absurd condition more visible than on the Minecraft server known as 2B2T. It's the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft, a world without rules, resets, or protection. Every player is free to do anything, destroy, steal, kill, create. And in that freedom, 2B2T becomes a kind of philosophical experiment. A world without order, where the consequences of meaninglessness play out in real time. Spawn is a wasteland. Mountains of cobblestone, lava waterfalls, broken portals, and twisted remnants of player-made chaos. Every surface bears the scars of years of destruction. Nothing survives for long. No matter how far you travel, no matter how well you hide your base, one day someone will find it and tear it down. It's easy to see this as hopeless, to think that building in such a place is pointless. But that's what makes it fascinating. Because despite the inevitability of ruin, players continue to build. They construct massive cathedrals, hidden cities, intricate structures, knowing full well they will be destroyed. They do it anyways. Camus would call this rebellion. In the myth of Sisyphus, he writes, "There is no fate that cannot be surmounted by scorn." To act in defiance of an absurd condition, to persist even when the outcome is meaningless, is the essence of revolt. The builders of 2B2T are modern Sisyphean figures, pushing their blocky boulders up the mountain again and again. Their creations are temporary, but their act of creation, their refusal to give in, is permanent. In this sense, 2B2T is more than a server. It's a metaphor for existence itself. Everything you build, no matter how magnificent, will eventually be destroyed. But that doesn't mean it wasn't worth building. Meaning doesn't come from permanence. It comes from engagement. As Camus says, the point is to live, to act, to create, to rebel, even when you know it will all be undone. There's something beautiful to that. To build knowing it will fall is to love knowing it will end. It's a recognition that impermanence isn't a flaw. It's the condition that makes creation meaningful. Every grief based on 2B2T is a monument to that truth. Every ruin is a story of someone who tried, even when they knew it wouldn't last. When you stand in the ashes of a once great city, surrounded by destruction, you can almost feel the echo of Camus' words. In the midst of winter, I found there was, within me, an invincible summer. Even in the harshest, most absurd conditions, we still create, we still hope, and we still play. Chapter 3. The freedom to build meaning. Once we accept that nothing lasts, that every Minecraft world, every server, every creation will one day fade, what's left is freedom. Freedom from the illusion that meaning must come from outside ourselves. Camus believed that the realization of absurdity wasn't the end of hope, but the beginning of freedom. The realization that life is absurd, he wrote, cannot be an end, but only a beginning. It's the moment when we stop asking why and start asking how. Minecraft teaches us that same lesson. When you stop searching for external goals, a win condition, or deeper narrative, the game opens up. You begin to play for the sake of play. You build because building feels right. You explore because exploration itself is meaningful. The act becomes its own reward. That's the beauty of the absurd. Once you accept that the world has no meaning, you can create your own without restraint. You can build a simple dirt hut or a massive castle, and both are equally valid. The world doesn't care, but you do. And that care, that attention, is what gives it value. Even the game's most repetitive acts, mining, farming, crafting, take on almost a meditative quality. They mirror the repetition of Sisyphus' labor, but with a key difference. We choose to return to them. Unlike Sisyphus, who is condemned, the Minecraft player participates willingly in their own cycle. We log back in, we rebuild, we continue. The repetition becomes comforting, a rhythm that allows us to think, to reflect, to simply be. Minecraft in this sense is less a game and more a philosophical sandbox. It allows us to confront the absurd condition safely. In a world made of blocks, it asks the same question we face in life. What will you do with your time? What will you create knowing it won't last? What meaning will you build in a universe that remains silent? Each player's answer is different. Some seek adventure, others create art, some build communities, others may wander alone. But all of them share the same quiet defiance. The decision to act in spite of meaninglessness. To create not because they must, but because they can. Camus wrote that to create is to live twice. Every world in Minecraft, every structure, every story built from pixels and imagination is an act of living twice. Once in the making, and again in the memory it leaves behind. In the end, Minecraft is a reflection, a mirror held up to the human condition. It's a world that, like our own, begins in silence and ends in impermanence. But within that silence, we build, we love, we imagine. We find meaning not given to us, but made by us. When you strip away the mechanics and nostalgia, what's left is something deeply philosophical. To play Minecraft is to live out Camus' vision of the absurd hero. You enter a meaningless world, and through action, through creation, through stubborn persistence, you make it meaningful. You roll your boulder, Place your blocks, climb your mountains, and start again. And when it all collapses, when the server shuts down, or your world corrupts, or your build is griefed, you accept it. You return to the base of the hill, pick up your tools, and begin once more. Maybe that's the real lesson behind the myth of Sisyphus and Minecraft. The meaning isn't at the top of the hill when you're done your base, or you do everything you want to do. It's in the pushing, it's in the building, it's in the quiet act of saying, this world may not care that I exist, but I'll exist anyways. The Minecraft world is empty and bare, but that's what makes it beautiful, because it's waiting for you to give it meaning. Camus ends the myth of Sisyphus with a line that could describe every builder who has ever logged into Minecraft. The struggle itself toward the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy.